Hello, I'm Byzantic, and in this tutorial I'll show you how you can join a multiplayer game of Europe Universalis. It's really not complicated, so if you've joined the EU4 MP game once, you probably know all there is to know. If you haven't though, then please stay a while and listen. First of all, different groups play with different mods or versions of EU4, so you need to make sure you have your game properly set up. You just need to make sure your checksum is the same as everybody else's. Just compare your checksum found here to the hosts. Once that's done, you have to actually join the game. For that, you have to take the ID posted by your host and paste it here. Write in password if any, and then join. You can also join by Steam if anyone who's already in the game is your Steam friend. What's happening now is your game is downloading the current save. It obviously only happens when continuing a game from a save and not on fresh starts. Once the save loads in, you have to pick your nation and ready up. There are some annoying bugs that can happen here if you jump between nations too much, so try to avoid it. Game can start once everybody readies up. Another load screen opens with everyone loading in. This chat over here is infamously known as the meme box, because supposedly writing in it can crash the game. From what I understand, what can happen is that under certain circumstances, writing in the meme box can prevent the host from kicking people who didn't load in because they crashed or something, which makes starting the game impossible. It doesn't happen often, so if someone writes in the box, it's not an immediate death sentence, but there's no real reason to write there anyways. Once the line "all praise have arrived" shows up, the game is pretty much good to go. Two more things. Since people will lose connection or crash, and it will happen to you too eventually, even if you've never crashed in single player, they can either hotjoin or there can be a rehost. A rehost is just starting from the beginning, so you can just do the same as before. If you crash and want to hotjoin, you just have to type in the ID again and wait for the host to accept your request. It might take a while sometimes because it's of course best to have all the players hotjoin at once. After the host accepts you, it is pretty much the same as with normal joining. One small difference is that this chat box over here is actually meme box, as you can see when I switch to what other players see during hotjoins, so don't type there. Now, a few words about bugs. One that happens fairly often is the lobby bug, lobby being the nation selection screen. If the lobby is set up and the game doesn't start for a while, it can get bugged and new players won't be able to join. At this point, there either has to be a rehost or some hotjoins. This basically means opening lobby way before the game is not a good idea. Another frequent bug is the numbers bug. It's present since 1.29 and as of recording this video is still a problem in 1.30. What it basically does is when you start the game, some of the countries are played both by the player that chose it and the AI, which obviously makes it unplayable. You can check it by typing in the chat. If instead of your nick you see a number, you got an AI body on your nation. It mostly happens with bigger player numbers, I'm talking 30, 40 or above, but that's not strictly the rule. You can only fix it by leaving the game and joining back. Rehosts can be a gamble since you might just get the bug again. So now you shouldn't be surprised by anything you see when joining a game. This is all from me, thank you for watching.